Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today, Bankroll will be joined once again by Jimmy, and today we got Cody with us.
Sure.
Hello.
And today's matchup is Jimmy versus one of our local guys named Chris. He is playing Android 16, while Jimmy is bringing back yellow Whis. There's buttons down below. Feel free to click them. But let's get into today's matchup.
So, Cody, do you enjoy Bancroft's YouTube voice as much as I do?
Yeah, it's 4 out of 7.
Well, I didn't expect that. That's high praise. That's much higher than I gave it.
That's almost a perfect score.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
What did you give it, Jimmy?
I don't even rate it, and I just don't even pay attention to it anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
it hurts to listen to.
I know this is a deck. Both these decks are something that Jimmy has experience with. Cody, do you have any experience with either one of these decks?
More than I wish to discuss.
Oh, fair
enough. Yeah, 16 is just a absurdly responsive deck. It pretty much has a answer to everything. Like, it does kind of struggle with barrier removal, which is, a lot of decks struggle with that. But it can pretty much do anything it wants to during the battle step. It has a card for pretty much any situation you can put them in. So I was worried about going into this matchup because the only card that really helps me out, I ended up actually taking out of the deck completely, which is the Ox King that gives all my 3 or less barrier, which, if you know Whis, every card in the deck is 3 or less. So boarding that out and then setting down against a deck that struggles against barrier removal but has an answer to everything else was kind of scary.
Speaking of changing cards in your deck, this was actually the first week we've actually included the best of one sideboard. Did you do anything special for this matchup, or did you just kind of leave the deck how it was?
No, I did my special sideboard technique, which was just take 15 cards that just happened to have been in the deck box alongside the rest of the deck and just called it my sideboard. So I really didn't think about any of the cards I put in there, any of the matchups. So I think I sided in 2 Nimbus against a Gogeta Xena, which was a bad idea. But in this matchup, I did not change a single thing. I played the deck as it is.
All right. So if we're going any further, I have a huge question you might be able to answer playing against Chris. 16 ignored energy exhaust on other 16 cards. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
I see it. Android 18 and I think 21 Bad Omen.
Yeah, we were both kind of in a bad opening hand situation. So that get used to seeing that skill list that just went into my drop area, because you're going to be seeing him stay there. Really. I think he struggled opening with 16s, and then I just straight up did not see a skillless or was able to board a skillless early enough, which is odd because this variation of the deck can explode with skilllesses. Even on my opponent's first attacking turn, I can board 2 skilllesses with this new list and then just start swinging out. But unfortunately, I bricked hard in these early turns. And I feel like he also experienced that.
Remind me, it's the Vados' auto which allows you to combo them from the drop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if he were to pressure that unison, that could be worrisome for you at this rate.
Yeah, which he does pressure the unison in this matchup. He bottom decked the card. I do also get the bottom deck from hand as well here in a moment. But that really, really hurt. Getting the only skill list that I had seen just fucking straight up put at the bottom of the deck. Especially because I whiffed off of this one-drop Whis. If you followed the channel, if you've seen any of my Whis profiles, every time I talk about this one-drop Whis, I talk so much shit about it because I think I've, out of probably 30 or 40 games that I played with Whis, I've hit off of it maybe twice. So I absolutely hate this card, and if it wasn't necessary, it would be in the damn garbage.
I just want to point out that the red Gohan deck got a much better version of this card.
It definitely did. Like this was like
Yeah.
a prototype for it.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
I also kind of want to point out that Whis came out at around the time when Yellow was still weaker during the Unison block. The only good Yellow deck that we had was Mecha, basically. And Whis was just kind of on the back burner, just kind of chilling, waiting for some new support. And then obviously once we got like the good generic Yellow, Whis was like a viably playable deck.
oh,
And
for sure.
really funny enough though, during Vicious Rejuvenation, Whis was a very good deck to play against King Piccolo. Oddly enough, it was very good against that deck specifically. Not good against much else, but boy, it could really rock King Piccolo.
Exactly. Like I always compared Whis to being in like the realm of evergreen decks. Probably not as like aggressive as Kid Ku or as good as Kid Ku, but it just does something so simple and it's just good because turning good cardboard sideways at your opponent is never a bad thing. And you talked about when this come out and how it was kind of a weaker option. I would like to point out the Deity's Disciple Goku in the Energy. It's one of the first yellow cards to actually have like pretty strong removal. Where Yellow's whole deal was tapping stuff down and negating, which is still Yellow's thing, but it didn't have a good option of just straight up making a non-threat out of a card. So that was kind of, I think, one of the turning points for Yellow of it getting some really, really good removal, and now we have stuff like Turles All Too Easy, which is just stupid good.
Dragon Fist, Son Goku.
Dragon Fist is one of those, and spoiler alert, you will see this in the match.
So I do know that some Whis profiles right now have swapped to using. They still use the old 3-drop Vegeta, but some are using the new 3-drop Vegeta from the Trunks deck. Are you running that in this?
I'm running that at a 1 of right now. I was playing around with ratios. I actually only own one. I opened 2 boxes of this set and got like a shit ton of bulk, but I still only had one. And Bancroft was sweet enough to hook me up with some. So I do run it as a 1 of in this list. It'll probably go to a 2 of because it's just barrier removal, which is huge. But I still like the old one just for the double strike pressure.
Whis is it Activate Main, which plays a 3-drop. Is that from the deck or hand?
Deck or hand.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very solid. The only thing that you miss out on is the draw for the EX Evolve on the Deity's Disciples, which you trade out a draw for a extra swing because you can just target a skill list that you have swung with. Where most of the time I like just paying 1 energy because I like drawing cards, for better or worse.
And I do like the introduction of the blue-yellow Whis, the God Angel card, because in this situation, like I said, you weren't seeing it. This just gives you another way of getting one to the board.
Exactly. So I really like that Whis, and I'm gonna play around with some of the other promos that have come out since Whis has been around. I'm forgetting the name, I'm blanking on it. There's a 1-drop Whis that says if you have 2 skillless battle cards in rest mode, your opponent cannot attack your leader card. Which if you combo a skillless from hand, then you also pay 1 to combo with the blue-yellow that just boards 2 skilllesses straight up. And then, it's probably not fantastic, but I think it's cute to be able to board 2, then next turn just slam that Whis and just say, hey, you got to remove something now. Instead of attacking my leader, which could buy a turn. So it might be worth doing.
These counterplays.
Yeah.
That's what blue does.
Well, that's what 16 does. Like I forget the name of the blue-green counterplay. It's just that card's amazing and just such a fantastic addition to the deck. I never played this 18 in my 16 list, so like I was like, oh, okay, that card exists now, I guess. That's why I read it, because I was like, I don't remember what this card does. Like, I know it does something decent,
I think it has to be a 4 or less battle card that it bounces.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really actually think that after the Whis Calling to Order came out, it was a pretty substantial buff to this deck. And it's not like one that people really gave a lot of thought to, but say you're going first, so you charge, and your opponent actually attacks your leader. You can combo a Skillus, and then use the Whis with your 1 energy and board 2 Skillus on their turn, and oh man, you can get really out of control really fast.
Oh yeah. Usually, like the best turn 2 play is to slam a Unison, but now it's almost like, mulligan for your Deity's Disciples, and then just slam those on turn 2 on both of your Skilluses. And,
oh no, dude, the Beerus combo, the old Beerus.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that card.
Yeah, because that will untap both of your Skillus, give them 5k, and you can really put on some ludicrous amounts of pressure.
Yeah. Hey, Bancroft, you're playing Blue Weeks this next weekend. I'm redoing this deck.
All right. I'll put the Yamcha away.
Nah, I'm still gonna play that. I'm still gonna play that Detritus. Black Kamehameha shouldn't exist. Card's too good. Card's too good.
So he's done. I would say of these new guys, I really have only played against Byron for some reason the most, and I feel like you or Fluff have played against Chris a lot more than I have.
Yeah, this was the first time I've ever played Chris in the tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, which it surprised me when he mentioned it, because I felt like I had played Chris, almost every single tournament that we've had.
He's doing very well with this deck. I feel like this is one of those decks where it's like you have to know what you're doing and the order of operations of doing it. I mean, I feel like he's doing pretty well. And I don't know how long a lot of the new guys have been playing, but I just like the ability that they've been picking up the game, and which helps us improve the more they improve.
Oh, for sure.
Wait, what just got charged? What just... Oh, man. Why is he playing that, though?
I was surprised by it, too, because I just expect if it's a blue deck, it has Baby Hatch. But I to be completely honest with you, I was tilted at this point because of how little Skilluses I have seen. So, like, as soon as it got in there, I was like, good, it's death. Give it to me, please. I don't want to play this game anymore.
I mean, it's one of those secret rares where I absolutely loved, but I also played 21 before they snipped it. But there's so many counterplays that can just target that card, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it's like Celzino. You only get its effects on the turn it's played. So unless you're trying to ramp up crazy, playing it during your turn for 5 energy, because I think that's what it's, arrival 5. I think it's like 3 blue, 6 green. Not 6, wow. 2 blue, 3 green. I think it's what it is.
Yeah.
Might be the other way around. But it has crit, double strike, dual attack, I think.
Triple attack.
Which is just crazy. But like I said, against yellow, you could just like giant ball, crusher ball, steadfast ally. Like there's so many things you could do just to know.
On the backside, it does make sense in hand control. Like 16 has light hand control, because if their hand gets plummeted or ripped apart a little bit, they have to make the decision between holding counterplays or keeping combo power to not die. So if they're holding counterplay, because I have a friend who plays SS4 and 16 a lot, and I don't necessarily agree with it, but I don't think it's necessarily wrong. It's depending on the matchup that it's going to be better than Hatch.
Maybe I need to see it more in play then. Because I forget that 16 can have a pretty decent hand control element to it.
Oh, yeah. Especially with the amount of pressure that 16 can exert as well, because, like, every card on the field right now is a threat. Which not a lot of decks can say that they could do that easily and cheaply and, efficiently. To talk about this previous turn that just went by a flash, I literally had nothing I could do other than attempt to board a Super Namekian, and he had a counterplay for it, so it was just like, all right, well, I wasn't going to do anything with my energy anyway. Like, but it goes back to what I was saying about how I was feeling very, very tilted at this point, because I'm like, I just wanted to have fun this week, and now I'm just getting absolutely shit on because I can't draw into a skillless in my skillless deck.
And I see what he's doing. He's trying to get you down to that 1 life just so he can play 21.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't. Yeah. I've played Battle Omen enough to know this. It also rips a battle card. It rips a life. Does it rip energy for some reason?
Breaks one of their energy.
Yeah. Yeah, you blow up one of your energy, 1 life, 1 battle card, and yeah. And it's also a 25k body to boot, which is pretty solid. He did jump the gun on tapping the energy here, but that's fine because he was just going to board the Starwalk Defender. I think that's Starwalk Defender. I don't remember. But the big boy.
It's tapped now, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. But he still does get to board a Android 21 from his hand as well.
And Poutine allows you... Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Poutine being able to aim its tap is just so absurdly good. So good.
And I guess he didn't have another Bad Omen. Because can it play Bad Omen as well, right? It could play...
Yeah, it could play any 21. Which I believe both... I don't remember how many runs in the list, but I think both Bad Omens are in the energy. If I remember correctly.
Where are you at right now, mindset, out of curiosity?
I'm like, I don't want to look like a fool and die on this turn on camera, even though I just want this game to end. That's my mindset right now.
And he did tap out, so he doesn't have the energy to play Bad Omen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which of course I felt comfortable tapping myself out there, and then also putting myself at 1 life just because Bad Omen was not on the table. If he had the ability to get Bad Omen out, I would have been really impressed, and I wouldn't have felt bad about losing that game.
Swing again, tap what? Use 2 Senzu Beans.
Which I think he used all of his beans. But right here, I want to talk. Like I said, I was very tilted. I was just wanting this game to end, and I just grabbed the first card that didn't have combo power in my hand and just wrote it. And I'm now sitting here I just fucked myself. I was saying it out loud to him. I'm like, I lost the game.
Well, I just lost the game too. Thank you.
Oh, I just lost the game as well. Hey, Jake's in here, but you can't hear him because he's muted. Jake, we also lost the game. So I'm sitting here looking at my hand bro, I'm so mad at myself. I just fucking threw the game, and I was charging the Unison, and he was gracious enough to let me walk that back, which I really appreciate that, even though it was not in his best interest to do so.
Because we can see your hand right now. We know the play you could go with if him letting you take that back.
Yes. Which it was dumb of me because I was like, why didn't I not charge, this card that's completely dead in my hand unless I want to charge or tap 3 energy for, a 20k crit, and I'll KO one of his dumbass 16 cards. Him letting me take back the Unison charge allowed me to 1 tap down one of his blockers, and then also you could see the card in my hand, Dragon Fist Goku, which for 3 energy, and if you have a yellow Unison in play, you can board it. Which the card is just absurd. And also, I finally started drawing into my skill assist this turn. It was fantastic. I was so happy that happened. But I believe, I just slammed Dragon Fist here. Not familiar with Dragon Fist, he's a double striker. You can Spirit Boost 1. Your opponent cannot activate skills on cards with each cost of 7 or less. Blows up 2 cards in rest. Does too much stuff. Also is a dual attacker for some reason. I'm gonna go out on a limb. It's probably I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think it's the best yellow boss monster in the game.
Oh no, I agree.
It's definitely up there, yeah.
Yeah. So this is fantastic here because he cannot activate blocker. He cannot arrive because those are all skills on battle cards and cost 7 or less.
He begin to combo up. Now, if I'm correct, this is the last attack, right? I'm not crazy.
No.
Okay, well, you want to go into furthering about this, the end of this match, just for clarity's sake?
Yes, so since he was gracious enough to let me take bet that unison play, I did tell him that he got the game because he did win the game. Because the best I could do was tap 2 and board a skillless if he did not let me take that unison charge back. Because letting me take that unison back and board that allowed me to, play this entire turn.
Yeah. Now with 2 cards in hand, 1 life, no energy. It's a 40k swing. I mean,
40k dual attack. He has 1 standing card. So I did give him the game because it was straight up. He 100% won this game if he did not let me take that unison back. So I did not feel comfortable taking a win in the tournament for this game.
Yeah. Well, that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Before we go, Cody, first time here, appreciate it. When it comes to commentary.
Oh, dude, no problem.
And Jimmy, you want to lead us out? Perfect. Read your cards in your place and fluff out.